The name of the chapter is magnetism and matter. Magnetism and matter. Okay. The lighting is fine, or you want more bright? I can make it more bright if you want. I thought last time it was too much bright. More bright you need, right? Is it fine? More you want? Huh? Okay. Okay, fine. Huh? This much only I can do. More I cannot do now. Okay. So, before I continue the chapter or continue what we did last class, I have some information to all of you. Today and for remaining, I think 5-6 days, I want to talk to students and ask what they are doing, how they are studying, what kind of timetable they are performing, okay, and how they are approaching this second PU physics syllabus, including board and entrance. So for doing that, it is not possible to talk to all of you together. So branch wise, I will talk and section wise. Okay, so today I will start with, already I think those people know, I will start with AAC H section. I have given them some assignment. Some of them have not done. So I want to talk to them why. My reason for giving assignment or anything is not to pressurize you. It's to just for you to try. And if you are not able to do it, you have to tell me what is the reason. That and some other things I want to talk. So I will start with AAC H section today after the class, 5 minutes, 10 minutes only. After that, I will talk to AAC F section, then G section, then Carmel, then Cordial, then what is the other branch we have? Cordial and any other branch I missed? Oxford, yeah. Oxford. Sorry, Oxford students. Okay, I am new to most of the new campuses. So I will speak to Oxford. So that way I want to talk to small groups so that I can find out what is your issue and all. Why you are not performing better, or if you are performing better, how to make it even more better. Okay. So today's chapter, as you know, is magnetism and matter. Now, I have told you two things if you remember. Magnetic monopoles do not exist or exist. Magnetic monopoles matlab single north pole or single south pole exist or does not exist. Okay, so does not exist. In other words, with north pole you will always have a south pole. So this is something very important to remember for this chapter. Another thing you should know, and last I think while doing the previous chapter, moving charge and magnetism, I told like currents means currents in the same direction. Currents in the same direction attract or repel? Attract. Okay, unlike currents, matlab current in opposite direction repel. Right? Then we also know north pole repels. North pole repels, north pole, south pole attracts. North pole repels, north pole, south pole attracts. You can include south here. Now, is there any relation between this and this? That I want to check. This one and this one. I was thinking about this yesterday. Is there any relation between this and this? There has to be, because current is the source of magnetic field. Current is the source of magnetic field. And if you remember, I have told you numerous times, current loops behave like magnetic dipole. I have proved to you mathematically also by comparing the magnetic field produced by a current loop with electric dipole. The formula looks identical. Therefore, we conclude current loops behave like magnetic dipole. So to see the relation between these two, check this, something very interesting. Imagine there is a current loop like this, current loop. and let's say the current is flowing this way. This is anti-clockwise. And here also it is anti-clockwise. Then if you remember, this phase will act like North Pole or South Pole. This phase, one side will act like North Pole, other side will act like South Pole. The phase, the side in which current flows anti-clockwise, that acts like what? This is anti-clockwise, right? This acts like South Pole. And therefore this also, this is clockwise, sorry students, this is clockwise. This is clockwise, okay? By mistake I wrote anti-clockwise. See, this is clockwise, the clocks will move this way, right? So clockwise, this is South Pole. Now think, I am doing like this. What are you seeing, clockwise or anti-clockwise? You are seeing clockwise. I am seeing anti-clockwise. So my side will act like North Pole, your side will act like South Pole. Now, if I bring them like this, on top of them, like this. Okay, so imagine this is like this. Listen carefully, stop writing once. Imagine this loop I keep here like this. And this loop I keep like this. Okay, so let me try to show you this way. So this one, when I turn it like this, you will see current is going up like this. And this one I will turn like this and keep like this. So this is your coil number 1, coil number 2. Coil number 1, coil number 2. Okay. Now, when I see from here, I will see like this. Right? This is clockwise. So this phase will act like south. Right? Because from here when I see, it goes clockwise. Therefore, this will be north. Similarly, when I see from here, in this loop, current is going like this. So this side will be South Pole and this side will be North Pole. Now, like currents, what I told, like currents attract. So this is like current, so they should attract. And you can see South Pole and North Pole here. South Pole and North Pole are facing each other. So they will attract. Is it understandable? Whatever I have explained? Okay, so this is how you should try to understand that this picture, this concept that like currents attract, unlike currents repel, is similar to saying North Pole and South Pole attracts and South Pole and South Pole, or North Pole and North Pole repels. Later I will tell you, in magnets, the magnets which we buy or which we use in our refrigerator or which we have in our physics laboratory, those magnets also have current loops. Those also have current loops. Okay, so I will explain this little bit later. But those current loops are in the interior. So obviously, if you touch them, you will not get any electric shock. But there are surface currents in a magnet. But how they develop, how these magnets develop surface currents, that we have to study little later. Now you can try to put ulta. Ulta you do and try to think what will happen. Okay, that part you have to do yourself. Try to do ulta. Here what I did, I kept this like this. This one I picked and kept like this. Okay, and I showed to you this way. Then you do ulta and you keep. Then you will see they will repel because it will be unlike currents. Okay. Having understood this, now tell me this. Suppose I have an electric dipole, and I have a closed surface. It's a closed surface, okay? So then in this case, what will be the net electric flux? Net electric flux through the closed surface. Anyone remembers? What is the total electric flux through this closed surface? What is the total electric flux through the closed surface? It is zero. What you have used? Gauss law, right? What does Gauss law say? Net charge inside the closed surface divided by epsilon naught. This is your Gauss law, right? So if there is electric dipole inside, you know this will be 0. Okay, so remember this. Now come to a new topic, very important. Gauss law in magnetism. Gauss law in magnetism. Please write the topic, Gauss law in magnetism. So it states the net magnetic flux, okay, magnetic flux through a closed surface is always, if the surface is closed, mind you, not open surface, not like this kind of surface. This is open surface. If you take closed surface, okay, if you have a closed surface in a magnetic field, closed surface, then it states the net magnetic flux through a closed surface is always 0. It's always 0. I think some of you have understood why it is always 0, and that is because in magnetism you do not have monopoles, you always have magnetic dipoles. So no matter what kind of configuration you imagine, magnetism will be always due to magnetic dipoles. Of course, mathematically you can construct whatever kind of theory you want, but physically, as of now, till now, nobody has found monopoles, remember. So since in magnetism, we do not have north pole, south pole separately, we will always have magnetic dipoles. And therefore, the net flux will always be 0. That is one way of understanding. Another way also I will tell you. Another way to understand this is what? So don't write charge inside by epsilon naught here. Don't write charge inside by epsilon naught in this case. This is flux we are talking, flux, magnetic flux. Another way to understand this is magnetic field lines. Yesterday I told, last part, magnetic field lines are in what form? They are always in what shape? Magnetic field lines always forms what kind of? Yeah, magnetic field lines are always in the form of closed loops. So imagine this is your magnetic field lines. Okay. They will be in the form of closed loops. So now, if you take any closed surface here, if you take any closed surface, you can see whatever lines will come in will also come out. Yes or no? So for example, take one closed surface here. You can see these lines are entering, but these lines are leaving. Understood or not? So the number of lines, net number of lines coming out of the surface is 0, because whatever lines will enter will also come out. Understood or not? When do we say there is flux? Suppose this is your surface and lines are coming only out like this. So they are coming only out. Or if your closed surface is like this, if your closed surface is like this, and if lines are coming only out, if lines are coming only out, then we say there is a flux, electric flux. And in electricity, in electrostatics, it is possible, because in electrostatics we can have a single positive charge. Electric field lines are not closed loops, but magnetic field lines are always closed loops. So imagine if these lines was like this, then what will be the flux? If all the lines were closed, then what will be the flux? 0. Because whatever lines are coming out, they are also coming in. And you know that lines which come out contribute positive flux, and lines which come in to the closed surface, they contribute negative flux. Okay, students? So there is another way to remember. Okay, statement is done. Sometimes they will ask this statement, or they will ask physical significance. physical significance of this law, Gauss law, in magnetism. So if they ask physical significance, what will you write? Obviously, sir, it signifies, the law signifies magnetic monopoles do not exist. Spelling of this you have to be careful, okay? If you miss this S, no, it becomes exit. Exit matlab going out. Okay. So that is quite nice. Mathematically, how will you write mathematically? Closed integral of B dot dA. dA is the area vector. That is always 0. Okay. Now don't tell me next time closed integral of B dot dl. That is also 0. No, that is not 0. That is your line integral. So if I move along the loop, then dot product will never be 0. No. So this will be mu naught times current enclosed by the loop. What is this law called? What is this law called? Biot-Savart's law. Huh? This is Ampere's circuital law. This is your Ampere's circuital law. Okay, be careful. So just by changing this, you have to be careful. Okay. So this is area vector. This is area vector. So this means it is magnetic flux. And for this, they did not give any name. No name was given. In higher classes, you may come to know, but not right now. Okay. You can call it actually magnetic potential, but let me not mention right now. Okay. Fine. This part is done, right? Mathematically also you write. ds also you can write. Area vector you can write either ds or you can write dA. When I was teaching you Gauss law in electrostatics, I told this part. Either you can write ds or you can write dA. It's symbol only. As long as you say, as long as you explain this is area vector, it is enough. Now students, what we are going to do is we are going to do some comparison between electrostatics formula and magnetism formula. Okay. So listen carefully. So if you have an electric dipole, let me write here electrostatics. This is magnetism. Okay. So this kind of comparison is always better because it will be easy for you to remember the formula. You don't have to remember 10 formulas. If you remember 5 formulas, you can create these formulas from here. Okay. So here we have defined something called electric dipole moment. Electric dipole moment, and it was defined as charge of any one of them into distance between them. And if I write L, then I should write L. Okay. In some books we may write here 2A. Then you can write 2A here. In fact, we also wrote 2A, but right now it's no point. 2A was used so that derivation will become easier. Okay, that's it. So this is electric dipole, and every electric dipole has a electric dipole moment, P equal to Q into L. Now we have a magnet. One end is like north, other end is like south. Here electric field lines. Okay, I will do like this. Okay, students. Okay, no problem. Let me change here. So here electric field lines go like this. Let me show that also. Here magnetic field lines go like this. Okay. Now, as long as you are outside, we live outside the magnet, right? We don't live inside the magnet. So as long as you live outside the magnet, you can create a similar formula for this also because it looks identical. So the formula that we have here is magnetic dipole moment magnetic dipole moment for a magnet. I'm saying bar magnet, not for current loop. For current loop, you know, it is current into area. For this, we can create a similar formula like this. Okay, we will write here Qm into L. And this Qm is actually a mathematical concept. It is just a creation. It doesn't exist in real. You cannot have separately North Pole, South Pole. So this Qm is what I call magnetic charge. However, in textbooks, they call it pole strength. Pole strength. Pole strength. Okay. And for North Pole, it will be plus Qm. For South Pole, it will be minus Qm. So basically, the pole strength tells you the ability of the poles to attract magnetic materials. That's it. And to have a similarity in the formula, we have created this concept. Now, what will be L? Some of you may think L will be this distance, but actually, students, it is slightly less than this. This L is slightly less than this geometric length. Why? Because if you look the magnetic field lines, they go like this. Okay. Now, actually, in real, how does it go? This way. Remember, it's closed loop. It is closed loop like this. But if you want to compare this with this, then you have to see where this will intersect. And where will this intersect? Okay. So wherever they intersect, that will be the location of your magnetic charge or whatever pole strength they are calling it. So this is actually your L. This is your L. Understood this part, right? However, for almost all calculations in PU level, we are going to take this L as this only, because this gap is very, very small. So this, let me write the name at least. This is your magnetic dipole moment. Magnetic dipole moment. And this is your electric dipole moment. Electric dipole moment. Let's talk about direction also now. Direction of electric dipole moment, if you remember, was taken from minus Q to plus Q. Direction of magnetic dipole moment is taken from south to north or north to south. You just compare these two. S to N or S to L. So this will be the direction of magnetic dipole moment. Actually, historically, if you want to know, these things were done first. This was the first formula for magnetic dipole moment, because people knew before only that there is something called magnets in nature, and they knew that the interaction of magnets like North Pole, South Pole, North Pole, South Pole is similar to charges, like charges, unlike charges. So this was known to people much before Oersted discovered that current produces magnetic field. Then later they realized that magnets are able to produce magnetic field because of some currents which are inside the material, which we have to discuss as this chapter will go. Okay, so these things were known much later, much before. Then the other formula came. However, these days we don't talk about pole strength so much. Okay. Okay, so then second thing, if you have a short electric dipole, short electric dipole, minus here, plus here, then at axial point, at distance r from the center of the dipole, at distance r from the center, the formula was 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught 2p by r cube. Okay, 2p by r cube. I hope everyone remembers this formula. So many problems we did using this formula, right? Similarly, here we have, you have a magnet, short magnet, south pole here, north pole here. So from the center, if you want at a distance r, at this point, if you want magnetic field, then the formula will be, I think now you can create yourself. This will be what? 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. How do we write? Mu naught by 4 pi. 2 will be 2 only. P will be replaced by magnetic moment. And here R, here also R. Cube, but remember, cube, okay? Okay, then I told you third one. Space is there or not? Let us see. If this is your electric dipole moment, minus here plus here, at distance R, electric field here at equatorial point. At equatorial point was, if you remember, half of this. Remember or not? Electric field here was half of here, provided the distance is same, of course. So it was P divided by 4 pi epsilon naught R cube. Okay, and therefore same diagram you can think here also. South pole, north pole at a distance R. Here magnetic field is axial, equatorial was equal to, what will be the formula? Mu naught by 4 pi m by R cube. So no need to derive this formula. No need. Just we have done this derivation already. Check once and same formula will be there. Let us see direction now. At axial point, if you remember, electric field is in the same direction as dipole moment. So dipole moment is this side. So electric field will be this side. So this electric field will be this side. Here also magnetic field will be in the direction of magnetic moment. But at equatorial point, if you remember, electric field was opposite. It is very easy to remember. Suppose you forgot. How will you check? Look here. Due to plus away, due to plus away, due to minus towards. So total will be where? Left side or right side? Total electric field will be left side or right side? Left side. So in equatorial point, electric field is opposite to dipole moment. Dipole moment is minus q to plus q. So here also it will be this way, okay? Opposite to magnetic dipole moment. Magnetic dipole moment is from south to north. So at equatorial point, it will be from north to south, this way. This is the direction of magnetic field at equatorial point, magnetic field at axial point. Okay, done? If you need time to write, you tell me. I'm writing anyways very slowly, so you can catch up. Okay. Okay, I'll wait, Tejaswini. This is very done, huh? We are all waiting for you. In class, you used to write before only. Okay, let us see the next one now. Look here. This is the third one, fourth one. Okay. I'll be writing the fourth one now. Okay, so listen carefully. I have told you that if you keep electric dipole minus q plus q, dipole moment is from minus to plus. If you keep electric dipole in a external electric field, external, not the electric field produced by these charges. Okay, then what happens? This will experience a torque, and the formula for the torque was Pe sine theta. Cross product you can write. Similarly, here, if you put a magnet, south here, north here. Magnetic moment will be from south to north in a external magnetic field. External magnetic field. External, okay. By the way, students, here you can put current loop also, current loop, because current loops also behave like magnetic dipole, remember. But in order to have magnetic moment here, your current loop, suppose this is your current loop, how you have to keep this way? Why? Because magnetic moment is perpendicular to the plane of the loop. So this angle here is theta, here this is theta. So what was the formula? What should be the formula here? Everyone can guess now. P should be magnetic dipole moment. E should be external magnetic field sin theta, which you can write in vector form also. If you remember this, we have already derived for current loops. Did we do anything more here in electrostatics? Did we do anything more, or we stopped here only? If you remember, I told you that if you leave this here, if you leave this, it will rotate and come in equilibrium here. But because of inertia, everything will have inertia, ma. So because of inertia, it will cross this equilibrium point and go this side. Once it goes this side, the torque will bring it back. So it will keep on oscillating. It will keep on oscillating. So electric dipole in external electric field, we know oscillates. And if we have derived the time period also. So time period of oscillation, time period of oscillation of electric dipole in electric field, external, okay, is equals to, I'm not sure whether you remember, but let me write 2 pi root over I by PE. P is the electric dipole moment, E is the external electric field. Can anyone tell me what was this capital I? It's okay if you forget. First chapter, no, it is possible to forget. I don't mind. But once you revise, you should remember. Once you revise, you should remember. Now, if you have forgotten, I thought some of you will say current. So it is not current. There is no current here. This is electrostatics. Okay. Whoever thought it is current, I don't know. Please remember, current came after this chapter. So this capital I is moment of inertia. Moment of inertia. Okay. So similarly, here also, if you leave this magnet, because of the torque, M cross, where will be M cross B? See, M is here, B is here. So M cross B. So torque will be inside the board. That I know. Torque will be inside the board. That vector direction we know. But rotation will be which way? This way. Wherever is M cross B. So it will rotate this way. Once it rotates here, here it will be in stable equilibrium. But why it doesn't stop? Because it has inertia. When you leave the pendulum from here, when pendulum comes here, it doesn't stop. No, even if force is 0. Why? Because it has inertia. So it continues. So here, what is the formula for time period? 2 pi root over moment of inertia divided by PE should be replaced by MB. Okay, so I is not current, moment of inertia. Here it is very important to remember that this is moment of inertia, because the same formula can be applied for current loop. If you have a current loop like this, and magnetic moment will be here. So if I apply magnetic field this way, this current loop will oscillate this way. So that oscillation also will have some time period. Understood or not? And I will be the moment of inertia, not the current. So that is something very, very important we have to remember. Okay. Also, while discussing this topic in the next chapter, when we went for potential, there I told you that if you want to rotate this dipole from this angle to some other angle, then you will have to do work against the external torque. And how to calculate the work? Let me just remind you, torque d theta from theta 1 to theta 2. Okay, this is very simple to remember. Usually, how do we write torque? Force into small displacement. Small displacement. But in rotation, force will be replaced by torque. Linear displacement will be replaced by angular displacement. Okay. So, what was your torque? What is the external torque that you need to apply? Same as the whatever restoring torque is there, which is how much? P is sine theta. From theta 1 to theta 2. Then constants you take outside. This we have done already. I'm just revising. What is integration of sine theta? Now, though you are expert in integration, I heard minus cos theta. Okay. So, minus cos theta. Upper limit is theta 2, lower limit is theta 1. Okay. Then after this, what we should do? So much time I taught in first PU. Put upper limit minus cos theta 2 minus put lower limit. This will become plus cos theta 1. So this was formula for work done from theta 1 to theta 2. Okay, students, it is always better to write cos theta 1 first. So let me rearrange. Cos theta 1 minus cos theta 2. Similarly here, they may ask you, what is the work done to rotate the dipole from some angle to some angle? 0 degree to 180 degree, 0 degree to 90 degree, 30 degree to 60 degree, doesn't matter. So work done from theta 1 to theta 2. How will you write? Now you can easily tell me. PE will become MB. Cos theta 1 minus cos theta 2. Okay. I would like all of you to try this derivation. Okay. This derivation you try same way as this. Only symbols you have to change, ma. Done? Yeah, we can write minus delta U also. Oh, not minus delta U. Kirti, this is work done by external force. So it is external torque. So it will be plus delta U. Kirti, brother, understood the mistake you did? Because this is work done by external agency. So that will be plus delta U. If you do it slowly, that also slowly. Okay. If you are finished, then last one is potential energy of a dipole in external electric field at angle theta. Remember, potential energy is energy due to position. So when the dipole is at this angle, what is the potential energy? So to find potential energy at angle theta, what we did, we started to calculate work done from reference to theta. And if you remember, reference was chosen 90 degree. So from 90 degree to theta. So if you apply this, what will be the formula? Just put theta 1 90 degree. Theta 1 90 degree. Theta 2 0. What will you get? Theta 1 90 degree. Theta 2 is theta. Okay, just check this part. Let me write upside. So potential energy, see, whenever you want potential energy at any position, no, you have to calculate work done from reference to that position. For example, in first PU, why do you say potential energy of a pen is mgh? Why do you say mgh? Because from reference, your height is 0. So from that point to some point you are coming by moving a distance of h against gravity. So the work that you do is force that you have to apply, which is mg, displacement is h, provided you start from reference. Reference is the point where your height is 0. Similarly here, reference is the point where potential energy should be 0. So theta 90 degree we have chosen. So if you put 90 degree to theta, this is your reference. 90 degree is the reference. It is good, no? This is becoming like revision also for first chapter. Second, this was actually in second chapter. What will you get? Tell me quickly. Minus PE cos theta. Why, sir? Because theta 1 is 90 degree. Theta 2 is theta. Minus PE cos theta. Correct. So here also you can tell the same thing. This also derivation you do. Okay. So potential energy of a magnetic dipole, or you can say magnet or current loop, that is your wish now, at angle theta in external magnetic field, external, is u theta is equals to minus mb cos theta, which you can write minus m bar dot b bar, dot product, because this is cos theta. Students, vectors has started in second PU. Vectors has started or completed? I would like to know. No, sir. Okay. So, sir, we'll do vectors. Don't worry, in second PU. So, all the first PU concepts, whatever we have done, that revision will happen, and then you will understand more nicely this dot product and cross product. So, all together, how many formulas we wrote today? This comparison, how many we did? 7. Okay. So try to remember this 7 formula. Again, I told no need to remember 14 formula. No need to remember 14 formula. Just remember 7 formula. Other 7 will come by doing comparison. Okay. Now there is a 5-mark derivation in this chapter, which is called bar magnet as a, or I should say solenoid. Sorry students, ulta I should write. Solenoid as a bar magnet. So the idea is this. I have to try to show to you. I have to not try. I have to show to you that if I have a solenoid, then very far from the center of the solenoid, very far from the center of the solenoid, along the axis, but not inside the solenoid, along the axis, I have to show you that the magnetic field produced by a solenoid is exactly same as produced by bar magnet. That's why the magnetic field lines look similar. So if you have a bar magnet like this, south here, north here, let me write south here. South here, north here, we make like this, right? Inside, I'm not worried, but in exam, you have to draw inside also. If they ask you to draw magnetic field lines due to bar magnet. Yesterday, last 5 minutes I have done. Similarly, if you have solenoid and current is flowing this way, then when I see from here, this is anti-clockwise. Anti-clockwise means this will act like north pole. So that will act like south pole. And the magnetic field lines for this also look similar. So I want to, since it is similar, the formula for magnetic field should be same. So that I want to show you. Okay. So this will come for your 5 marks. Okay. But before again I do that derivation, we have to remember one formula. If you have a current loop in one place only, here only, not here, then it is solenoid. Here only, n turns. Then at a distance x, if the, let us write r, if the radius is capital R, But when we wrote the formula, I think we wrote X. So the formula for magnetic field here was a big one. And I have given many problems in your assignment that uses this formula so that you will practice. So mu naught by 4 pi 2I pi r square root divided by r square plus x square power. Power, you tell me? Anyone who remembers? Power 3 by 2. So this formula we need to remember. Okay, students, again try to remember what is x. X is distance from the center of the loop to the observation point. To the observation point. Okay, so this you remember. Now we have a solenoid. Now the solenoid will be, if this is your core, we are going to wind wires like this, very close to each other. That's why they have to be insulated. Otherwise, short circuit may happen. No, so you have to do like this, and you have to bring it till here and then remove this one. So what you get is basically a very compact cylinder kind of thing. It looks like cylinder only. So I will go. I'm not going to show you like this. I'm going to show you like this. This is back side. Let me not go so far. Yeah, not very nice, but it's okay. Okay, so this is your solenoid. Okay, fine. So imagine current is going like this, like this, like this, like this, like this. Current is I. Okay, like this. Many turns are there. Okay, many turns. So let us define some few things. Now what I want is magnetic field at some point which is very far from the solenoid. So please remember this P is very far. In the board I will not be able to draw because already I have drawn this diagram. So this P is very far. Now I want to measure the distance of this P from the solenoid. So the best place is to measure from the center. So this is your, let us say, R. Okay, let me write R here. Okay, now let us define some few things about the solenoid. So let capital N be the total number of turns. Total number of turns in the solenoid. Some few things you have to define, right? Let capital N be the total number of turns. 2L be the total length of the solenoid. 2L be total length of solenoid. 2 I have taken for simplicity. So if I take this is 2L, this will be L, this will be L. So total length I have chosen 2L. Okay, students? And capital R is the radius of the solenoid. Radius of solenoid. That means this is capital R. This is capital R. Okay. Now, how to find magnetic field here? Directly we cannot do. Don't apply mu naught Ni formula. That is inside the solenoid. That is inside the solenoid. So if you have a point on the axis, so what we will do is we will consider this solenoid as rings. So let me consider one ring here. Let me use red color. Let me consider one ring here. Okay. Very thin. Okay. And this distance from the center is x, let's say. Then what will be this? Use your differentiation knowledge. If this is x, small distance along that line will be what? If this is x, small distance along that line only will be dx. This is dx. Okay. So what I'm going to do is first I'm going to write magnetic field here due to this loop. Why, sir? Because that current loop, this current loop can be taken like this, right? Because this is very thin, no, very thin. That's why I wrote dx. Dx matlab tends to 0. Delta x tends to 0. So this is very, very small. So you can consider this like a ring of current. Okay. So please write this because I don't have so much space. I have to rub this after some time. So this part is written, I hope. Okay, so I'll rub this part, okay? So what I'm going to do is going to calculate magnetic field here first due to this ring. For that, what I need, see here. Oh, by the way, one mistake I have done here. What is the mistake? I wrote n turns, so there must be n here. Correct or not? N turns. Now, I have written for this problem, capital N as what? Total number of turns. Total number of turns. But to use this formula for this wire or this current loop, I need to count how many turns are here. So number of turns in the loop of radius. This loop will also have radius r only, right? This is a loop of radius r and thickness dx, right? Thickness is dx is, let me call that dn. So what is dn? Number of turns here. Don't say capital N, students. Capital N is the total number of turns. So how to find number of turns in this small length? Very simple. Total number of turns divided by total length. That will give you number of turns per unit length into length of this small part. That will give you number of turns in that part, right? It is like, again, total price divided by total number of apples into number of few apples will give you price of few apples. So number of turns I found in this small part. Current I know, current is I everywhere. Radius I know. This x also we need. Now what was this x? Be careful. This x was from center to P. So what will be that here? What will be that? This much is r, this much is x. Will be r minus x. Correct or not? This much is r, this much is x. So this will be r minus x. This part everybody understood? Sanjit understood this part? So this is r, this is x. So this part will be r minus x. Okay. Why I'm trying to find this one? Because I need this x. Remember. Okay. Done. So let me write here. No? Here also we have space. So magnetic field at P due to elemental ring. Elemental ring matlab this ring is part of this. Part matlab element. So elemental ring dB. Now be careful when I write this. Okay, let us be careful. Mu naught by 4 pi. Mu naught by 4 pi. N. What is N? Number of turns here. Number of turns here matlab. That is dn. So n by 2l dx. Correct? Correct or not? This is your this n. Number of turns in this loop, which is number of turns in this loop, which is n by 2l into dx. Then 2 into I pi r square. Radius of this is r. Radius of this is also r. Divided by. Big thing will come, which will be simplified. Don't worry. R square plus. In place of x, what I should write here? Somebody has to tell me. Then only I will continue. This x, instead of this x, what I should write? This distance, which is r minus x square power 3 by 2. Power 3 by 2. Don't forget the power 3 by 2. Okay. Now, those who think, sir, I'm very good in integration, sir. you have to integrate this. Okay, you have to integrate this from this. You have to take this ring, starting from this end till this end. So your x will go from here to here. When you are here, what will be x? When you are here, this ring will be here. No, so this x will be from center to the ring. That will be minus l. This side is minus l. And this side, when you reach, x will be plus l. So you have to integrate this from minus l to plus l. And then you will get the exact formula. We don't want exact formula. We want only where? Where we want? Very far. So now this diagram, okay, let me keep it. This is out now. So since we know the point P is very far, see how the denominator will become very simple now. So since this small r is much larger than this x and also larger than this radius, okay, because you are going very, very far. So this part will become r square plus r minus x whole square power 3 by 2 will become approximately what? This r is very large. So very large minus small will be very large. So this will be r. So this will be r square plus small r square. First it will become this. After that, still this is very large. So very large square will be much larger, right? 1000 square is much larger. So if you square this, it will become more large. So more large, again, this is not so large. You will get r square power 3 by 2 equal to r cube. Understood or not, students, this part? So your denominator will simplify to this. Check once, everybody. So since my point where I want magnetic field is very far, very, very far. Okay. This small r is much larger than any number here. So you can neglect all of them. That's the point. So if that I do, what will be my dB now? Mu naught by 4 pi n by 2L dx 2 into I pi r square divided by r cube. Now to find total magnetic field, I have to integrate this small magnetic field because all will produce in same direction. Since all this current loop will produce in same direction, I just need to add, that's it. No need to do components and all. Now when I substitute this dB, constants I will take outside. Constants I will take outside. Mu naught by 4 pi come outside. N by 2L come outside. 2I by pi r square come outside. And when I go from this loop to this, when I go from this end to this end, only this will move. This part will move. This will be r only. So even r is constant. So even r will come out. Right? So everything is coming out. What is left? Integration of dx. Now from where to where? When this loop is here, because I have to integrate from here to here, no students, I have to find magnetic field here, students, due to the solenoid. What is the trick? I'm dividing this solenoid into thin loops, current loops, and I'm finding magnetic field due to one current loop, then another, then another, then another, and adding. That is the meaning of this integration. So when I am here, what is my x variable? You are this side of this line, so it will be minus l. And when you reach here, your x will become plus l. Understood? Yes or no? Just let me know once. If any doubt is there, tell me. You cannot write L, then it will become 0. Then it will be 0 if you write L. Understood? How is this gap 0, students? So minus L to plus L. Now, look here. Let me just rearrange. Let me put 2 here, n here. What is this? current into pi r square. Pi r square is nothing but area. Area of this will be pi r square. Correct? So this is pi r square. And this is number of turns. So this is your magnetic dipole moment of the solenoid. Magnetic dipole moment of the solenoid. So finally, what is the formula for magnetic field? Mu naught by 4 pi 2 divided by 2L m by r cube. What will be this integration? This is x. Upper limit is L, lower limit is minus L. Upper limit minus lower limit. That will give you 2L. So this integration business is very simple for you now, I know. So integration of dx is x, put upper limit, minus, put lower limit. What will you get? 2L. Okay, here I have shown you. Then what happens to 2L now? 2L gets cancelled. So it is mu naught by 4 pi 2m by r cube. Alright, this should put smiles on your sad faces. I know most of you were sad, how long is this derivation? But now you should feel a smile. Why? See this formula. This is exactly same as what? Magnetic field produced by bar magnet. Check once. I have given you with today only with comparison. I think it was second point or third point. Check once. It was the second point, I think, right? So this is the magnetic field produced by bar magnet. So this is magnetic field produced by bar magnet along its axis. It was axial point, if you remember. So in that way, what we have understood, students, yeah, second point, no? So in that way, what we have understood, that solenoid is like bar magnet. And I think all of you know this, electromagnets and all you may have heard. So in electromagnets and all, we instead of using bar magnet, we use solenoid. Now, can you tell me what is the good thing about using electromagnet than using a bar magnet? The good thing is bar magnet will have a fixed value of magnetic field at a certain distance, fixed value. You cannot change the magnitude and all. But current magnetic field produced by current loop, you can decrease the current, you can increase the current by using some resistance in the circuit. So by using the resistance in the circuit, you can change the current. Current will change the magnetic dipole moment. Change in magnetic dipole moment will change the magnetic field. So there is the beauty of using electromagnets. We can vary the magnetic field. And polarity also you can easily reverse. Just you have to change the switch. There will be two-way key. So that key you have to switch. You don't have to move the whole magnet. That would be quite difficult, no? Because in big instruments, you may have very large magnets. Okay. So I advise all of you to go through this. This derivation, students, has not come in board exam even once till now. It has not come. Okay. And but as a teacher, it is my job to do whatever is there in the NCERT syllabus. So go through it once. I'm sure you will understand. Now, once this is done, okay. Now we need to the last statement was, this is the formula which you wrote. This is magnetic field produced by bar magnet along its axis. Okay, write down this part, those who have not written. Okay. Now we need to talk about the how magnetic field changes when you put a material in the space instead of vacuum. Okay, so for that you have different kinds of materials, students, different kind of magnetic materials. Okay, so I will just give some brief description right now. Later we will study in detail all of them. So the first one is called paramagnetic material. Paramagnetic material. Maybe not paramagnetic. Okay. The second one is called, actually the first one is diamagnetic. Sorry, if those who have already written, don't mind. First one is diamagnetic. Then we have paramagnetic. Then we have ferromagnetic. Okay. In your ATM cards, if you have, or in your parents' ATM cards, you will see some black color. Okay, black strip kind of thing. That black strip is made of which material? Anyone knows which material it is? Is it dia? Is it para? Is it ferro? It is magnetic, but question is which out of magnetic material can be any one of them? Which one it is? Okay, so it is ferromagnetic. Okay, now why ferromagnetic and all are used? That is very interesting. Okay, you will study more in engineering classes where you will learn how to use this ferromagnetic material to store information. You can store information also using ferromagnetic material. Sound, audio, video, you can store. Long backs you used to get cassettes. Nowadays CDs and all have come, cassettes. So there they used to have that black color of film. So that material was made of ferromagnetic material. Why only ferro? That we have to study in this chapter. Now, first of all, I'm going to talk about them in detail as I told. First, to just give a basic idea, okay, how they differ is these are made up of atoms. Everything is made up of atoms. These are made up of atoms, and each atom has no dipole moment, no net dipole moment. So basically dipole moment of the atom is zero. Magnetic dipole moment of the atom is zero. Okay. So what happens is basically, as I told you, if you remember, atoms have these electrons, and electrons have these two kinds of motion. One is called orbital motion, one is called spin motion. That I will teach you in atoms chapter, which is I think 13th or 12th chapter. Okay. So these electrons revolve around nucleus and they have this spin motion also, classically speaking, not quantum mechanically. So these motions of electron gives rise to current. But in some atoms, what happens? There are even number of electrons. So what happens? One of them may have spin up, another one will have spin down. So because of that, one current loop is like this, another current loop is like this. So what will be the total magnetic moment? Suppose there are 4 electrons. So they pair up. So spin up, spin down. If they pair, what will be the total magnetic moment? Can you tell me? If one current loop is like this, one current loop is like this, what will be the total magnetic moment? Magnetic moment is vector. Magnetic moment is vector quantity, students. So this vector will cancel this vector. So in that way, these atoms do not have any magnetic dipole moment. Some of them will say they do not have permanent magnetic dipole moment. Permanent word they use because it is permanently there. When nature made them, it was made like that. Permanently it was made. So diamagnetic are materials whose atoms do not have dipole moment. In paramagnetic, the atoms See, there are 10 to the power 23 atoms, okay, around approximately. That many atoms I can't draw. So when I draw 6 of them, you have to be careful. So these have magnetic moment. So here, it is not zero. Magnetic moment of the atom is not zero. Okay. However, the direction of the dipole moment of each atom is randomly oriented. Matlab, if one has motion like this, other may be like this. Other will be like this. Then it will be like this. It will be like this. Like this. So what happens is each atom has a magnetic moment. Each atom has a magnetic moment. Each atom is behaving like magnet here. Here, though each atom is not behaving like magnet only. Here, each atom is behaving like magnet, but the magnetic moments are randomly arranged. So, magnetic moments of the atoms are randomly arranged, randomly oriented. Therefore, if you ask total magnetic moment, total of the sample, of this sample, how much it will be again? This will cancel this will cancel this will cancel this. So like that, there are 10 to the power 23 students. For each atom here, you will find one more atom here. You have to search, that's it. So this is 0. So individual atoms, listen carefully, individual atoms will act like a magnet, but they don't produce a magnetic field outside because their total magnetic moment is 0. So the magnetic field produced by them outside is very weak. In fact, they cancel out almost completely. So you don't get any magnetic field outside. That's why I am made up of atoms. Some of those atoms are paramagnetic, but I am not magnet. I don't attract, if I go near some iron body, that iron body doesn't get attracted to me because overall my magnetic moment is 0. Okay, students? So that's why human body is not behaving like magnet. In ferromagnetic, it is very, very interesting. In ferromagnetic, each atom has some magnetic moment, okay, but there are some domains matlab regions, where all the atoms will have dipole moment in the same direction. All the atoms will have dipole moment in the same direction. So this is what is called as ferromagnetic domains. Ferromagnetic domains. No, Prithvi, now it is not 0, no? So here, each atom has magnetic moment, non-zero magnetic moment. First of all, remember that. Second, there is a small region. It may be small in our scale, but it is quite big in atomic scale. Easily, this will have some 100,000 atoms easily. So it may be small compared to our scale, but it is large compared to atomic scale. Please remember that. So in this domain, there will be atoms which are in the same direction. Okay, students. Now, atoms in the same direction means magnetic moments are in same direction. Now, if this was true for all the region, if all the region also had in this direction, then this will produce a large magnetic field outside or less magnetic field outside. If all the atoms were in same direction, they will produce large magnetic field outside or less magnetic field. Large magnetic field, yes or no? In that case, what will happen? This material will be like a magnet. But you know, ferromagnetic materials are iron, cobalt, nickel. These are some standard ones which I remember, okay? So iron, which is ferromagnetic, would be a magnet if every domain had in same direction. But I hope all of you know, iron is not a magnet. Iron, if you take an iron nail, it is not a magnet, obviously. So what happens is, there is another region where the dipole moments of individual atoms are in same direction, but that will be opposite to this. So like that, there are regions. Okay, you can draw many regions like that. So this may have here total dipole moment, this may have here, this may have here, this may have here, this may have up, this may have down like that. So again, what happens if I ask total magnetic moment of the sample, again it should be what? 0, because though one domain has a magnetic moment, the magnetic moment of other domains will cancel. Now these domains are very important. That is the basic reason why we can use this for memory to store some information. Okay, so now if I apply external magnetic field, forget about this one right now, if I apply external magnetic field, what will happen? Just now we studied, when a magnet is kept in a magnetic field, it will experience a torque, correct? No? And ultimately, once all the damping forces will play their role, and once they come to equilibrium, all these dipole moments will point in same direction. So if I apply some external magnetic field, suppose I apply external magnetic field B0, then all these dipoles will start coming in the same direction, which means this will now start increasing. This will not be 0 now. Are you understand why it was 0? It was 0 because they were randomly oriented. But once you apply magnetic field, external magnetic field, here or here, here also the domains will flip. The magnetic moments will flip like this. Okay. So all these magnetic moments will start aligning in the same direction, because of which magnetic field inside the material will be now not same as this. Why, sir? Because these dipoles, which are now in the same direction, they will also produce magnetic field inside. So that will also add to the magnetic field which was present in vacuum. So if this is your magnetic field in vacuum, when you put para or ferro here, these dipoles will turn in the same direction. It is like what we studied in dielectric polarization. So these dipoles will turn in the same direction, and they will also create magnetic field inside the material. Therefore, inside the material, the magnetic field will be not only this, it will be this plus magnetic field produced by this process, and this process is called magnetization. Okay, fine. Another 5 minutes, I will just give you 1-2 definition, then we will stop. I will talk more about this, don't worry. Okay, so I hope at least you got the idea why magnetic field inside the material changes. Here something else happens. Here I will talk tomorrow only. Okay, not now, not tomorrow, Monday, because here they don't have dipole, so they cannot turn. No, there is no dipole only. Atoms may be there, but they are not behaving like dipoles. So one very important quantity which is very common for 1 mark question, okay, is magnetization. Okay. Now usually if it is a usually this is called intensity of magnetization. If you say only magnetization, then that process which I told, all these dipoles which align in the same direction, that process is called actually magnetization. And we can create one quantity out of that process. And what is that quantity? Let us try to remember. When I don't apply any external magnetic field, what was the total magnetic moment of the sample? Quickly, we don't have time. Total magnetic moment of the sample was how much? Whether it is para, ferro or dia, it doesn't matter. So when you don't apply external magnetic field, the total magnetic moment was 0, right? Once you apply magnetic field, then I told magnetization will start. then what will happen? This will be not zero. And the more number of dipoles are in same direction, the more number of dipoles are in same direction, the more will be the total magnetic moment for a given sample. Okay, so we define magnetization to measure how many of them are in same direction. Okay, so definition of this is the net magnetic moment, the net, okay, total also you can write, net only you can write, the net magnetic moment of a sample, but don't stop there, per unit volume. Per unit volume. Matlab you choose some volume, see how many dipoles are in same direction, add all the magnetic moment, okay, and then divide by per unit volume. And those which are opposite or in some other direction, you have to take components and all. But no need to worry about that. The point is, once you apply external magnetic field, this will not be zero now. It will start increasing slowly. And we want to know a quantity which will describe that. So we have invented this quantity called magnetization. Symbol, the symbol we write capital. So how will you define formula? Total magnetic moment per unit volume. Quickly, somebody has to tell me SI unit of magnetization. SI unit of magnetization. SI unit, ampere per meter. Let me check once. Magnetic moment we know current into area, that formula you can use. So ampere meter square divided by volume means meter cube. So ampere per meter. Okay.